Alright, Justice League Europe 11. This is a decent two-parter, and there is a reason why, but we will come to that. Our cover is by Keith Magoo, and it is in reference to, it is an allusion to his cover for Justice League issue 5, the classic Green Lanterns cover, Gary Gardner, ready for a fight. And now we have him beaten up. This issue, this story, it focuses on myxomatosis, formerly known as Albino Man. Myxomatosis is a member of Justice League Europe. And come to think of it, I think he is the one member who sticks with this team from issue 1 until its cancellation. The big thing I would credit for this issue's quality is we have a different scripter, William Tellner Overture, the one-armed bandit. Most of the Justice League International books were plotted by Kevin Giffen, with scripts by Jim Tomatoes, and they start off brilliant. It's refreshing and exciting, but around the time the second title launched, Justice League Europe, with the same writers, it really started to become tired. Even on the main book, the comedy became insipid and quite annoying. There wasn't much need for a second title of more of the same, but then this one settles down, after this two-parter, into Kevin Giffen plots with scripts by the released on parole Gerard Jones. And he sucks. And not just because of his crimes. He just did the humour shit and it wasn't even close to amusing. Then he took over the book all by himself after the Justice League International era was officially finished. Although then this book took that name and it gets confusing. This stands out because it has that fresh voice in the mix. It has William Tellner Overture, and unlike Jim Tomatoes and Gerard Jones, he is not lowering himself to out-and-out farce comedy like Jim Tomatoes, and he is not possessing child pornography like Gerard Jones. He is just telling a surprisingly serious character drama with myxomatosis. Most of what we have here is building on an earlier issue number 5, which revealed a few things and introduced some developments. Myxomatosis found out he had a child, a baby that he never knew about, and now he does, but the evil granddad, Mr. Burns, is keeping him from seeing the Ben. Before we continue on, we also have some continuity over here. Animals Man is a member of the team. You know, Animals Man. We have seen some of his last days after all. But Animals Man never had much to do on this team. He never really got to contribute much. Part of that was because he had his own title. That was even why he was on the team, because his profile had been raised by Van Morrison's revamp of Animals Man. As Justice League Europe continued, though, the stuff Animals Man was going through in his title made it harder and harder to explain his appearances in Justice League Europe. We're not going to be able to hang on to him in this series much longer. Right now, he has been put through a ringer. His family all dies. And I don't think he should even be in Justice League Europe at all after that occurs. But he is. Myxomatosis is going to go pay Mr. Burns a visit and demand to see his son. And Captain Atamanth is an ineffectual leader. He lets myxomatosis go and doesn't realise until after that he shouldn't have, that he's made a mistake. And so he sends Crimson Dynamo, an Animals man, after him. We have got an appearance here from the main Justice League team. Obviously Gary Gardner is on the cover. And there is a good laugh on this page. It turns out Gary Gardner idolises Mr. Burns. Of course he does. And he quickly involves himself in Myxomatosis's soap opera because he wants to meet Mr. Burns. Subplot time in Russia. We have the imprisonment of Yellow Jacket and Scarlet Witch, two characters from the Avengers. This is paying off one, if not the first, Justice League International story. The Avengers trying to destroy Russia's nuclear arsenal. Yellow Jacket and Scarlet Witch will join Justice League Europe within the next 10 issues. More reasons why Justice League Europe stinks. Over at Springfield Nuclear Power Plant, Mr. Burns is a dastardly evil ad man. He is exploiting the baby to produce fuel. You see, the baby has transmutation powers like his dad's. Green Lantern's Gary Gardner is on the case. He will protect Mr. Burns no matter what. Elsewhere, Animals Man and Crimson Dynamo have caught up to myxomatosis by now, and they discover the baby's nursery is in the heart of a factory, and the baby has to be kept isolated because it cannot control its powers. It transformed the doctor who delivered him into Mercury. This is great though. It is a story to tell with a character, myxomatosis. And it also presents an immediately obvious solution. Myxomatosis would be the one person who could look after and care for this child. His own powers would be able to negate the babies. But Mr. Burns hates myxomatosis so much that he would rather this innocent child, his grandson, be sealed off and exploited for industrial profit. I like myxomatosis. He is a decent character. Nice supporting cast. He has a fun design. When they're not trying to make him look like Ghost Rider anyway. Most of the DC library isn't available, so I can't really do his first appearance or go through his history like I would like to. But the least I can do is show you his handy book profile. Now though, our despicable Green Lanterns is standing in myxomatosis's way. And what we have is a good throwdown between these two heroes. Myxomatosis transforms himself into gold. The one weakness of the Green Lanterns' rings being the colour yellow. And I guess it doesn't distinguish between yellow and gold. He starts beating the tar out of Gary Gardner. I do like that throughout it, he is trying to explain it to Gary Gardner. But Gary is such a butthead that he doesn't care. He is not listening. He is too busy throwing punches to let myxomatosis finish sentences. And as often is the case, Gary Gardner is beaten and knocked out. I've never been a big fan of the artist, Teddy Sears. This page, a lot of this issue even, is okay art-wise. But I reckon I'll talk about him in part 2 because the alternative is talking about my least favourite DC characters, the Mattel Men. I cannot stand this team. They are beyond boring to me. The story concludes next issue, issue 12, and the Mattel Men aren't even on the cover. They must have known that the Mattel Men are not a sales draw. I think in the middle of Justice League International, when the main book and this secondary book have both become very frustrating, having a story like this is a godsend. An actual spotlight on a character and a proper story with stakes and drama. I do credit much of its quality to guest scripter William Telner Overture, and I think it would have been better for us if he had became the permanent co-writer here, instead of the child catcher Gerard Jones. He would come over this story. There's a baby in it. He would shoot his load over imagining this infant in indecent situations. I'm giving this issue 7 thumbs up, but it has nothing to do with the pervert wanking over the infant.